with VEDANTA. VEDANTA will return to run and resuscitate operations of KCM as the majority shareholders alongside ZCCM-IH. I want to say to VEDANTA that underline the word resuscitate. Therein lies the benefit to the Zambian people. We don't want running battles. We, like the Minister Copperbelt said, the VEDANTA under UPND is going to be different. We are very positive about that. Ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that on 7th September 2022, ZCCM Investment Holdings PLC, VEDANTA Resources Limited, VEDANTA Resources Holdings Limited, and Konkola Copper Mines KCM Provisional Liquidator entered into a written agreement to suspend the hearing of the disputes between the two parties, VEDANTA Resources on one hand and ZCCM-IH on the other, to pursue amicable settlement of the disputes. The parties engaged in discussions to resolve the disputes and have reached a significant milestone. As part of the resolution, all disputes between the parties have been resolved, and all proceedings relating to the disputes will be withdrawn, with each party bearing their own costs. Consequently, the KCM board will be reinstated, and VEDANTA Resources Limited will return to its previous role as the majority shareholder of KCM based on the following mutually agreed conditions. And these conditions, like mentioned by VEDANTA themselves, are embedded in the agreements. Number one, renewed financing commitment towards investment in mine development, and key in the mine development is the Konkola Deep Mining Project, famously known as KDMP. That is the future of KCM. So there is an emphasis that KDMP must be a priority, even as the shareholders agreement is reinstated. And that is to increase productivity, to create more jobs, more revenue, and more activity around the mine. An increase in employee salaries and a one-off payment. I think those details were given, and that one is immediately the shareholders are. I thought there are unions to clap on this. Mr. Chair, you are not happy. Immediately after reinstatement, your workers are going to have an increase, and there is a one-off payment. I hope the media picked the percentage. I'm not VEDANTA, so VEDANTA has announced the figures, so pick that list. So there will also be an investment in robust and transparent environmental, social, and governance programs. And the figure that has been given is really something that would change the 3 towns where VEDANTA will be domiciled. It's quite substantial, and it is going to become annually. This is very important to us. Then, number 4, and very critical to Mr. Costa, a settlement of local outstanding creditor debts by supplier, by contractor, Salula. Additionally, government's golden share, imagine even the golden share was neglected and dealt away with. This government is saying the government golden share will be reinstated as a safeguard to ensure the asset is protected. In this regard, the parties are working towards concluding revisions to the shareholders agreement and the implementation agreement on new terms as stated, which agreements will be legally binding on the parties to ensure that the renewed commitments are fulfilled. I want to make a point here through this press briefing to all the mining companies that the Ministry of Mines will follow the Mines and Minerals Act to the latter. One of the things that was neglected is just following the law. That when an investor misbehaves, implement the Mines and Minerals Act, supervise them. And my ministry will be on hand That's why you've heard we are introducing the Minerals Commission Act, which will replace the Mines and Minerals Act of 2015. I hope, Minister of Justice, I'm quoting them right. It's not my domain. But we are going to have the Mines and Minerals Commission Act. There will be enhanced supervision of the mines. This is not only to Vedanta, to everyone who is misbehaving in the mines. We want to maximize benefit of the minerals to this country, and we are not playing around. Yes, it has taken long for these things to be put in place because our political, again, this country was damaged in 10 years, and people want Akainde to solve it in 2 years. No. Damage of 10 years requires a lot of time. If you were sitting in my chair as Minister of Mines, you can see the confusion that was there. And I was very shocked, my predecessor going on radio, ranting around. Looking at what he left, I just said, Insonie wuntu. Sometimes keep quiet and let others with a mandate work. Because the damage was, this country was on autopilot. And we have to say it as it is. So going forward, the Ministry of Mines, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Finance will be working as a team, the Ministry of Commerce, to make sure that adherence to the Mines and Minerals Act or the Commission Act is followed to the latter. It does not mean we are going to choke you investors. What we want are partnerships that are mutually beneficial to yourselves and to ourselves as a country. So this is very important. With lessons learned from the past, these terms and conditions provide safeguards to prevent history repeating itself. We do not intend to have history. Thank you for that prayer, Minister. The history must not repeat itself on KCM. This time around, like the chairman said for ZCCM, this is a world-class asset. And we know that Vedanta, you are running a zinc mine in South Africa, world-class. We want a replication of that on KCM. We want world-class standards. I have grown up on that mine. We want properly adhered to rules and regulation and world-class standards where workers will be enjoying. Yes. The necessary legal formalities and procedures are also being attended to. It is very important that the country understands that now it remains with my colleague and his team, the Minister of Justice, to reinstate the board, to go through. Madam Celine is here to, issues of the provisional liquidator. Procedure because they shouldn't have done that in the first place. So meaning that is why you are seeing those in 3 months, because these are now processes that the courts must run so that we do not seem to be doing things like we are from the bush. We are a meticulous government. We follow the law. The rule of law must be followed, and that's why these processes must run. Because I know there are question marks. No, why have they given this period? It's because these processes must run, including the creditor settlement schemes and all those things which are in the domain of my colleague, the Minister of Justice. It is not a secret that the asset has deteriorated a great deal over time, and the production output has substantially reduced. This is a very sad development for a national strategic asset. The New Dawn government, the UPND New Dawn government, has a vision of realizing 3 million metric tons. Vedanta, I want you to listen. 3 million metric tons is our target, and KCM is key to be part of those figures. So please push the asset when that time comes to go to maximum levels. I know that KCM can go to as high as 300,000 metric tons. So government will do its part, but do your part as well to make sure that the asset reaches those levels. We have made very bold decision to restore normalcy at KCM by bringing back or by restoring Vedanta, and it is expected to significantly contribute to the attainment of this target. In the 2 years we have been in office, we have strived to correct the damage that was created by the previous administration by conducting due diligence on KCM in terms of technical audit, environmental audit, financial audit, and production audit, among other assessments, while we have negotiated the best deal with Vedanta for the benefit of our people and the nation at large. It is the desire of the UPND administration to lay the foundation for faster, sustained, private sector-led growth by improving the investment climate, fair treatment to investors, though not at the detriment of the nation. We are going to be fair. I'm repeating the words of the Minister Copperbelt. We are going to be fair. It will be a win-win situation, but not at the expense of the common Zambian people. We are also saying we'll build confidence, as many others would-be investors want to come and invest in Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, Vedanta has made a number of commitments that we can only urge them to fulfill for the betterment of the people of Zambia and the Copper Belt in particular. What is critical is, again, I repeat this word, to resuscitate the KCM asset. As you may be aware, the state of the KCM asset over the last 4 years has been dire. Underground operations have nearly been halted. KCM certainly needs immediate recapitalization. We are therefore confident that Vedanta will run the mine according to our expectations and also set and actualize milestones. We expect the investor to work with Zambians out there who will play a critical role. I am aware in the agreements that you are bringing just a skeleton number of people. The majority of the workers at Vedanta will be Zambians. The majority of workers will be Zambians. Those commitments are there. And we want you to support, I'll emphasize again, suppliers and contractors. I've been on record as having said, the benefit on the mine, tax is important, tax paid properly, but also what is critical are the activities, local supplier development programs. We want that to be enhanced when the SHA is reinstated. We care for our suppliers, and our workers must be motivated. Sport. We need Konkola Blades in Changa Rangers, in Ampundwe Football Club. Those are critical ones. When we were growing up, I want to share this with you, Vedanta. Whenever Konkola Blades win in Chilabombwe, production at the mine used to go up. It sounds as a joke, but it's true. Yes. Mr. Chewe will tell you, who've been in the mines, yes. If Inchanga Rangers is performing, if Konkola Blades is performing, it used to be a trigger for development. So you do well to use that. I'm giving you free advice. When these teams are doing well, there are always, productivity would go up. If they are not, a lot of accidents used to happen because miners were going underground frustrated. So you do well to do that. I was watching a game last week. There were thousands of people that follow that club, and most of them are miners. So you do well to support even sport as the SHA is reinstated. As government, we will continue to support and appreciate the important role that private sector plays in the development of the mining industry, and will promote
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Mines, Honorable Minister of Justice, Honorable Minister for Copper Belt, Honorable Matambo, the Board Chairman of KCM, Mr. Pushpenda representing VEDANTA, the President for the contractors, Mr. Mwaba, my colleagues from the union, Smujika, from Yumao President, and also representing Yomu's, Mr. Nirongo. I can also see Honorable Maveta from Kankoyo. Honorable, thanks for supporting the miners and our members. The media, I've seen senior citizens always following the events in the mining sector. Honorable Minister of Mines, allow me to give a vote of thanks on this special day. I'm saying special day because every day we are either receiving phone calls from the media, from the members, and other stakeholders, urging to call upon His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, calling upon you, Honorable Minister, that KCM is in dire need of resources to run it. We are all aware, Honorable Minister, that the mine has deteriorated. And for us who are working with our members across KCM operations, starting from Nampundwe, Changa, Konkola, and Dinkana, the operations hasn't been very good. So all the time, Honorable Minister, thank you. But all the time we have been able to answer the phone calls and also consult you on a number of issues that are going on in KCM. And also when KCM resolution was coming, I think the media, Honorable Minister, I want to thank them. They have been able to ensure that this agreement which we have witnessed today come to fruition. So also the media, we thank you. But this is our country, and like the Minister of Copper Belt have said, the silver and gold which belongs to God. And God did not make a mistake that we have Konkola copper mines to give us jobs, to give us resources to the national treasury, and to feed Copper Belt. So with the agreements that we have outlined, Honorable Minister, we want to commend His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, for their commitment, and also listen to the cries of the miners and the other people that depend on KCM. So we can send the message that we thank him. But finally, KCM is unlocked, which was a thorny issue as we interface with the workers. Including you, Honorable Minister, some people have called you names. Yo Bakabuswe, Tawale Tuafwa, but today I think they will change the story. You have really hoped to be in that position where people need to eat, there is no food. They always look at you as minister. So congratulations, Honorable Minister, also, and your team from the ministry for the tireless work that you have done for the Zambia. Sometimes when you are alive, you are not appreciated. But when you leave, that's when people are able to see your work. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The agreement that we have witnessed today, the council from the Minister for Copper Belt is timely to VEDANTA also. And I want to echo the comments from the Minister that we have to start a new life as KCM. Whatever went wrong is in the past. Workers are interested in the future going forward. So the Minister's Council, that the vendetta of yesterday and the vendetta that has come, people are expecting that workers will be happy, the communities will be happy, and the country will be happy. Then you'll be mining in a very good environment. The support from the workers, you will receive it, as long as you hear the council. The unions are there to safeguard the interest of the workers. The unions are there to protect the wages and the other conditions. And we are glad, Honorable Minister, that the 20% which is coming immediately, you take over. It will enhance the workers' ability to spend. The 2.5, which is a standalone allowance, we thank you that you are able to recognize the efforts that the workers in KCM have put in and keeping this asset even under difficult circumstances. I want to also lobby to you through the minister who is also here and you as VEDANTA representative that there is a 500 kwacha, for instance, which we said, can we wait for VEDANTA to come? Can we wait for the new investor? It's a standalone allowance. Can we add that allowance to the salary so that we motivate workers? We motivate the workers, then you'll be also be getting the production. Honorable Minister, our mandate is also to be a watchdog for the government, for the workers of KCM, as well as for the country, because we are aware of the operation that is going on a daily basis. And where there is a wrong, the union will say it without fear or favor. The union will say there is a problem, be able to listen to the union so that we don't go back to the past. As we have said, the union will now be looking forward, will not be looking at the back. We want a KCM that is productive. There are so many news. When you bring in the $1 billion, the mine is resuscitated. More workers will have opportunity to join KCM. And mind you, Honorable Minister, we have lost a lot of big brains from KCM. They have gone to other mines. We want those workers that had left KCM because of the liquidation, because of a lot of things that was going on, to come back and put up a team that will produce the 300 metric tons that we desire for us to reach the 3 million tons that the country needs. So motivation of the workers that have gone, motivation for the existing workers is what we'll be talking. And we have demonstrated that 20% salary increment, the 500 that we have asked, and the 2.5 standalone, and the many things that will come. So open the doors for consultation as VEDANTA. Open doors to the union, to the workers, and also to everyone, so that we can mine in peace without trouble. I think that's the advice that we want to give VEDANTA. And government, we want to thank you that commission act which is coming is going to help some of the things that we are battling with in the mining industry. So, Honorable Minister for Justice, expedite that process. It will help the country. It will help to govern what is wrong in the mines sector. Honorable Minister, I want to thank the workers of KCM for being patient, even under the circumstance. And we want to encourage them that let's embrace VEDANTA as they come back so that we can work together as a country and produce for the country. Thank you very much, the media.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chewe. Thank you. We have the last vote of thanks, and that is from the representative of the Association of Mine Suppliers of Contractors of Zambia, and that is the President, Mr. Costa Mwaba.
Sure. Honorable Minister, good afternoon. Good afternoon, the media. I'll ride on the protocols already observed. Indeed, it's a very momentous occasion. For us, Honorable Minister, this has been a very serious issue in terms of suppliers and contractors, in the sense that at least my colleague here, his employees have been paid. They have been receiving salaries even the past 3 years that we are talking about. But our contractors, our suppliers, monies have just been trickling. And for us to get to this position where we are almost reaching a conclusion, it gives us a sigh of relief, because every day we are receiving phone calls, complaints, and so on and so forth. And the office, we must commend you, Honourable Minister. You've been very transparent, you've been engaging. Even to this date, we've had our input. And this consultative approach that you've had, please continue with it. And just as my colleague said, we are also passing our gratitude to His Excellency the President in ensuring that we reach this far. The only request that we want to make, since the agreement is already there, we would want some funds to continue flowing. And this I would urge the ZCMIH board, working with the provisional liquidator and VEDANTA. You have already agreed. So can we have funds begin to flow so that suppliers are paid and there is continuation? Because what's going to happen now with suppliers, they'll be saying, let's wait and see. And we don't want any disruption like that. So we are saying, can we have funds flowing? Because we know the end game is that VEDANTA is coming to take over the asset, and they have committed $250 million to pay the suppliers and contractors. And for VEDANTA, we are urging you to develop a robust supplier contractor development. We also want to engage in manufacturing. The other thing is the issue of pricing. Sometimes you think that Zambian suppliers or contractors are expensive, yet the comparisons model that you use may not be correct, because we compete with some of the members who have to leave things by the South African offices and they are transported, they're not exposed to duty, they are not exposed to any other taxes. Yet a supplier or a Zambian contractor is subjected to all those duties. So at the end of the day, when they give you an invoice, you think we're expensive. And then these issues of lifting and dumping, I call it, where there's no value addition, we would want to, Honorable Minister, going forward, working with VEDANTA, that we allow Zambians to participate. What I mean, Minister, lifting and dumping is, if you say a diary, this diary has no value addition. So if I'm going to get it from China, the way it is, why not allow a Zambian to do that, as opposed to allowing an international company to bring a diary? So we would want to see those deliberate programs supporting suppliers and contractors. Otherwise, we are grateful that you invited us as well, because you could have chosen to do it in your boardroom and close the deal. But it shows the transparency and the engagement under the European government that you are practicing. We are very, very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwaba, for those remarks. And I'm sure you're really happy to note that there's $250 million coming your way. Yeah, so we're all moving to the Copper Belt. Don't be surprised, we'll be visiting. Next thing, where's Namaka? No, she's working from the Copper Belt. Ladies and gentlemen, just to wrap up what has happened today, and also just to create true value to all stakeholders, please note that VEDANTA has reaffirmed its commitment to run KCM by pledging $1 billion investment over a period of 5 years to develop KCM, $250 million to pay local creditors, $20 million investment into the local community every year. That's really significant. A once-off payment of 2,500 kwacha and 20% increase in salaries to all KCM employees, with the intention to provide long-term stability. And also, like the minister says, all the cases have been dropped because you cannot mine in court. So, and then also really there's a target of 3 million metric tons, and KCM really has to come to the party and be part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we acknowledge and recognize that you have, as media, you have to dash back to the studios to file your reports. And also in the interest of time, we will not have any Q&A. However, please do send in your queries to Lois Mbata for ZCCM queries, or to Masuzi Njovu for anything related to VEDANTA. We want to thank you all for coming, for your attention. And for those of you who've been watching us live, we want to thank you for your time. Honorable Minister, we want to thank you for gracing this occasion and for this wonderful news. We're really all excited. VEDANTA, welcome back. Actually, no, you didn't go away, isn't it? So we can't even say, honey, I'm back. We can't say that. All right. But anyway, we're really thankful for all of you for coming. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for this occasion. We can allow you to leave. Thank you. Colleagues from the media, I'm told that there's a Zambia and Namibia signing ceremony for those of you who would like to go next door, in case you want to witness a signing ceremony next door. We also have the press statements, the true, authentic press statements, not the leaked ones. The true, authentic press statements are outside at the registration. Thank you. No questions today. Thank you. He's dropped it. Oh, man, yeah, nice one. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.